All right, let's talk about some 12 valve stuff. Are you looking to buy a 12 valve? Now, if you're looking to buy a 12 valve, something that I would like you to be aware of, hopefully you already haven't bought one. If you're buying one to put into a project vehicle, pickup truck, car, hot rod, whatever it may be, this is going to apply more to you than something that's a medium duty setup, but we'll talk a little bit about that as well. There's a lot of engines, P-pump 12 valves, there's some VE stuff as well, that has come out of let's say a bus, or it's coming out of a medium duty truck or something like that. There'll be like a 230 horse engine. I think there was 230, 245. There's probably another one. I think there's one more, a 185, I believe. They're not very common. The 230 horse is very common. Oh, actually 210. I think it was 210 horse. Just be forewarned, if you're looking at buying a 12 valve and you want to put it in a project vehicle and you want to make a bit of horsepower with it, you want to do some modifications and all that type of stuff, stay away from something that come out of a bus or a piece of equipment or whatever it may be. You want to stay with something that came out of a Dodge truck. So 89 to 1998, 12 valve, whether it's a VE or a P-pump. There is some telltale signs of what is the difference between them. Usually you can tell by looking at them. Now, if you don't know what you're looking at, obviously you're not going to be able to. But if it has a bell housing on it like this, that is going to be out of a industrial medium duty truck, bus, something like that. They call that an SAE bell housing. Now, another way to tell is actually by how the injection lines run. I'll see if I can find some pictures. So this is the industrial version. This one is the pickup truck version. Now, if it has a aftercooler on it, that is going to be an industrial version. Something else too is if the turbo sits up top, like if the valve covers are here, it's going to look like this. That is also going to be an industrial version. If it's a 12 valve, now we're talking if it's in stock form, obviously, because there's been lots of guys that modify them and stuff over the years. Some of the RV stuff, the turbo would be tucked down kind of like, would be like this. But it's something, to be forewarned, because there is some different stuff, like the alternator bracket is going to be different. Lots of times mounting hardware stuff is going to be different, like your engine mount will be different. Not that that matters, you can change that stuff up. The big one though is your injection lines are going to be different. You're going to have different size injectors, and then also your injection pump is not the same. So the industrial version pumps are different pumps. So lots of them, not all of them, but lots of them, the govern springs, you can't just use a normal govern spring set. It has to be taken apart and part of the governor needs to be changed to do that. They're going to have small plungers in them. They have a different camshaft in them. Like they're just different. And the engine itself, the actual camshaft inside the engine is different in those applications too. Not astronomically different. Yes, you can use it. It's not going to make that much of a difference, but it is different. But when you get into the bus one, like if you want to put it into a piece of equipment or something like that, it honestly makes zero difference. You just want to make the stock horsepower with it. You don't want more RPM. It honestly doesn't make a difference. They go relatively cheap most of the time, but I've quite a few. I've had 3 guys in the last week actually bring engines in that were bus engines originally, and they want to make some power with it. So we're sending I wish I would have taken pictures of them before I took them apart, but I just thought about maybe I should do a video talking about it. We're sending all 3 pumps away to have done into a performance pumps, which cost quite a bit of money because of some of the stuff that we're changing in them. But they're all going to be 12.5 mil pumps, so they'll be whizzy pumps when we're done. But it becomes more expensive. The core, you don't get as much core back and all that type of stuff, or you have to put more parts into them anyway. Just something to be forewarned when you're buying that stuff, because it does add up very quickly. If you buy a pickup truck engine, let's say for, let's say argument's sake, $5,000 versus buying one out of a bus and you're putting it into a pickup or a car or something, you might get away with not having to do a bunch of work to the injection pump, depending on how much power you want. You know, a throttle bracket, your throttle linkage and stuff. Those industrial pumps, they have the revision for the bolt holes to go in, but there's no cert in them, and they've never been drilled and tapped. So, you know, there's that part of it. The plungers are different. Like I was talking about, the govern setup is different. The injection line, so your regular, like if you wanted to put it, let's say a one of these Banks dual rams on it, that won't fit. So you'd have to change the lines, and yeah, it turns into a whole bunch of screwing around anyway. So I just thought I would mention that to you guys. Hopefully, you know, when you're looking at them or whatever, now you can have a, you know, make a conscious decision on what you're looking at. There's nothing, like I said, there's nothing wrong with them per se. It's just that it's going to cost you more. So like I said, if you're going to spend $5,000 on a pickup truck engine, and then you can buy a Bush version for $3,000, that extra $2,000 is going to get chewed up like that fast. It literally gets chewed up super fast. So just do yourself a favor and buy one that come out of a pickup truck. You know, it has a throttle linkage, has, you know, maybe it has a turbo that you can use. The injection pump, maybe you can just use the injection pump depending on how much power you want out of it. You know, just something forewarned. And also too, something else that I've found too over the years is the industrial pickup truck, or sorry, the industrial, like the bus engines, you know, equipment stuff. I find they tend to be more wore out. And some of that is, one, because they have way more hours on them, or two, is because, you know, like you take one in an RV, they tend to not run for a really long time, then they fire up, and then they don't run for a really long time, then they fire up. So they end up being wore out, you know, like they wore out from being dry started. You know, if they sit for a really long time, then you're firing them up, that's just inherently not good for them. So anyways, hopefully that helps the guy out. And if it did, give me a like and a comment, and we'll catch you on the next one.